This is Brunello di Montalcino, 2004 Rendola. And this is another one of these terrific wines from the '04 vintage out of Tuscany. It was a good vintage, prolific vintage, so there's a lot of these wines out there. Most of them are a little bit pricey. This one is a really good value. They have a pretty good vineyard source where they've got nice hillside vineyards, good exposure, and fairly high altitude, like, you know, between about 500 and about 1,500 feet above sea level. So that altitude always is very good for tempering the sunlight and letting those grapes mature more slowly and develop flavors. And then they take a little bit of a modern take on the fermentation. That, well, they fermented in stainless steel, temperature controlled, all very clean and nice. And then they actually aged the wine for 2 years in small oak barrels. Well, they call them barriques in Italy, but they're sort of, you know, your typical French Bordeaux barrel. And that's not usual for this kind of wine. Usually the wines are aged in the big barrels that really don't impart much of an oak character on the wine. So 2 years of barrique give this a little bit of that oak character, give it a little bit sort of a different profile just in terms of how the flavors come together. And of course, you know, it's Brunello, so it had to be aged, you know, it couldn't be released 5 years after the vintage. So has a lot of time to develop, to soften, and to really be ready to drink. I get a really nice immediate black cherry note on the nose, along with some really nice tangy notes like orange and tobacco, something a little spicy. Maybe the oak's giving it a little bit of a spicy note, a brown spice note. Getting some softer fruit notes now, like a sweeter cherry note. It's good. Let's try it. On the palate, you get a wine that's pretty full, pretty complex, a lot of that fruit coming through, but it's more like black cherry, black plum, even a little dark chocolate coming through on that too. It's got some nice little spice around the edges, a little more of that tobacco, a little of those sort of little tangy notes, very nice. The tannins are there, they're pretty fine grain, but they're lively, they sort of grip your sides of your mouth a little bit. Says that the wine can obviously age for another number of years, but very appealing. Fairly forward. This will go really nicely with pretty much any meat dish. You know, you could do like a roast leg of lamb. This would be perfect with that. But this is a good wine, and it's a great value. Enjoy.